Cells 1824 Halifax Classic. Team Gushue, Team Manuel. Final. This is for all the marbles. I am Selena Thompson, joined by Jeff Wilson. Thank you, Jeff, once again. This is our third game with Team Manuel playing, so should be interesting to see how they deal with all the pressure of the final. And Team Gushue, undefeated so far this tournament. They have the hammer, throwing the yellow rocks. And we see Ryan Abraham
never.
with the first stone of the game, that red rock.
Team Gushue, in fact, is undefeated so far this season in Halifax.
It's true.
They came for another Bondsfield a couple weeks ago and were the champions without losing a single game. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the quality that they're able to bring to the ice today.
16-team field, and we're left with these two teams. We had Team Gushue qualifying out of the A bracket, defeating teams Smith, Skanes, and Grattan through to that A qualifying spot. And then last night, defeating McDougall in the quarterfinal. This morning, Murphy. 1 point game. That one was quite tight in the semifinal.
Looked like a battle watching the line scores online.
Yeah, and Team Manuel took a slightly different path. They actually lost their first game to Team Grattan, and they have won the rest versus Simmons, Smith, and Weagle to qualify out of the B bracket, defeating
Nice and tight, guys.
Thompson in the quarterfinal last night and Dexter in short game. I asked Jeff Marr, how'd you guys win that one? He goes, well, we made a lot of shots. Good game this morning in the semi.
Yeah, very subtle. I guess when it all clicks, it all clicks.
Perfect.
So both teams obviously playing very well this weekend. Great ice conditions. We'll give a big shout out to our ice maker and his crew, Adam McKieran, our club manager, Mandy O'Connor. And if you're watching us, you should thank 360 Live. They've been providing these streams that you're watching all weekend, and we're so glad to have you watching. I know it's a different world out there. We're behind the glass in our masks, and the teams have their little bit of normal curling out on the ice. No social distancing in Nova Scotia is required for sport up to 50. So
Line's fine, doesn't need to curl. Play the weight, play the weight. Be nice to get shot.
No social distancing
normal.
and no masks, but we do see some of Team Gushue, Mark and Brad, will likely keep their masks on for the whole game, just to keep themselves safe and their families safe when they return home. So we see some good shot making from the Gushue lead, a new face to the team because his name's Daniel Bruce. Jeff Walker had a new addition to his family. Jeff and Laura welcomed a baby recently, so Jeff is outside the Atlantic bubble and isn't able to travel back in for the events that they're playing. So the rest of the Gushue lineup, Brad Gushue at skip, Mark Nichols at third, Breck Gallant at second, Daniel playing lead. And the lineup for Team Manuel is Matt Manuel skipping, Luke Saunders throwing third, Jeff Marr playing second, and Ryan Abraham throwing lead. And Ryan Abraham is actually the one that holds the broom in the house when Matt throws last rock.
Careful going this way, like it could go into it. But you can certainly get it under it too.
So we saw that first red rock from Team Manuel slip all the way into the back of the house, and then they Gushue team quickly threw up a corner guard. They're ready to start playing right away, get this game underway, and then we saw Team Manuel throw a tight center line guard to try and protect the center of the house there. Gushue right around the corner, another great shot, and then Team Manuel followed it up with a draw behind the center guard.
And now a little bit of cleanup here, Team Gushue. They're really happy to leave that side yellow there and move some rocks around the center line. Watch the shooter.
It's a good shot.
Trying to spin that in. I don't think it did, but a very good result.
Yeah, they've now got the second quarter and the double takeout made in the house. So it's a really good result for Team Gushue.
One shot, and it looks real friendly for a multiple score.
Try to get the double peel. It's close to going in here, but, I mean, if you get unlucky enough to stuff it, we got lots of rocks left. Okay, try this. 2/3 high.
So we see Team Manuel here preparing for a peel or an attempt at a double peel, trying to open up the side here, try and limit the scoring capacity of Team Gushue here in the first end.
Yeah, right now it looks like a pretty easy deuce for Gushue.
Okay, it's not bad.
So got rid of both guards, got those rocks moving, even made contact with the one in the rings.
It's not a bad result for Team Manual.
Yeah.
They
I'm
were trying to
thinking, like,
accomplish a
almost an
lot
easy
with just
peel.
one rock. I know it makes me nervous leaving two
Yeah, it's
Gushue
unlucky.
rocks in
You
the
like
house.
that?
This
Never thought you would stuff
Team
the balls
Gushue
like
defending Briar champions. But there are lots of rocks left in this first end for Matt Manuel
Yeah.
to try and make a double or a couple doubles to get themselves out of trouble here.
Looking for some separation with the yellow rocks. They probably know they will have a double available for Team Manual after
Go, Mark.
one of these shots, so just trying to get as much space as possible.
Whoa. Okay.
So this is
Good throw.
the natural call I think that most teams would look at here for Team
Half a
Manual.
rock, Luke.
Try and group
Thicker
the
half, if
stones
anything.
if you can't make the double.
Throw it hard.
No.
Yep. Hard, Ryan.
So as I mentioned, now that
Real
there's
hard.
3 Gushue rocks in play, Team Manual is going to have to make a big shot to get themselves out of trouble here. And they don't have it on this first attempt, so we'll see what Team Gushue decides to do.
Looks
Probably
like
even
a
with
ton of
this.
weight on that, and it really curled.
Maybe
I think he
sli-
must have
actually
got that
slightly
going a
above
little
it.
bit because it was gone out of his hand.
So you're looking for full 8
We've
depth.
seen a lot of movement to the wings over the few games we've been
Yeah, I
watching
would
here.
think maybe a little bit.
As we mentioned,
does
this
that
is our
look for
third
ice?
time casting Team Manual.
Okay,
So they've
that's good.
been on this sheet a lot, and in this moment, I can't remember if they've played the same color
Half
every
buried
single
is all we
game.
need here, Mark.
But they should be pretty aware of what the ice conditions are going to be. They did elect to throw the inside-out hit on that last one, and it just curled a little bit more than they needed it to.
I think they had hammer last night when we watched them in the quarters, and all the teams with hammer chose yellow. So I think they were
Wait on late. Room.
were throwing the
Room.
opposite color last night.
Red's in if you're
Gushue
gonna
would have
go.
had automatic hammer by qualifying earlier and choice of rock color.
Needs a curl. Needs a curl.
They chose the yellow ones.
Even with this. Even with this.
So they're
Needs a
really trying to
curl.
get this in a good
Yep,
spot
yep,
to
yep.
avoid an easier
Whoa, whoa,
double.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
The 2 rocks that are open on the other
Okay.
side, you can make a double off them, but you won't stick around, so it doesn't really change the scenario a whole lot for Team Manual.
I think that's our best chance of getting out of it. This one's almost not even make both. Well, no. Straight double. Thick half, Luke. Peel.
We hear Team Manual talking about the different options for doubles, and they were looking potentially at the back too, but they're so even that it would be a very flat double, and it may not even be there. And the risk of throwing a shot like that is you leave Team Gushue a chance to spread their yellow rocks out even more.
Get out.
Good shot.
Shot.
And made. Good sweep call.
Now there's a good double there.
I don't think an overroll is going to kill us. This one's a little higher, so it shouldn't give much of a double.
That was the double Team Manual
weight do you
needed,
wanna
but you
throw
see
here?
with that red stone out front, just as a guard,
I like board.
it's going to come into play, and that's why they're trying to roll behind it or slightly beyond it. Try and keep the 2 yellow stones that'll remain flat with no double. They're trying to bring in the chance of 3.
His
I think
first
they'd be all
one,
right
chance
with
to
2.
get out of it.
What do you think?
Whoa.
Yeah, and I think seeing Team Manual in this final,
Whoa.
playing against Team Gushue,
Go right.
giving up 2 in the first end,
Go roll, go roll.
it sounds pretty standard, but sometimes giving up 2 to a team like
Okay.
Gushue can kind of
roll.
change your mentality
make
a little
that.
bit.
I think we just give her, Ryan. Try and plant it right behind it. Nope. Really big half, like thin 2/3.
So there is a double. It's pretty flat.
Anticipated a little bit more break there.
Curlers always have funny fractions, don't they?
Yes.
Thick 2/3.
Yeah, a big half, thick 2/3.
Yeah.
It's really funny math.
Half, but like just a little more. A lot of weird sayings we have. But they make sense.
Yep.
They make sense to curlers.
Yeah.
Hard! Hard!
This looks close.
Get it!
Oh, real nice
Great
there.
shot by Matt.
This is, if anything is indicative of the play that this team has had in the games we've watched, it is that shot. We watched Matt make 2 12-foot run backs in a row last night to get a skipper's deuce.
That was quite elaborate. I think they probably could have scored an easier 2 if they had not put themselves in so much trouble
With
earlier
different
that
strategy,
end.
yeah.
But the 2 16-foot run backs back-to-back to score 2 points was really quite nice. So not only does Matt make the double and get himself out of trouble, he's also behind that guard. So now it makes a trickier shot for Gushue. He's going to try and bury one here behind the guard and make it really difficult for Matt to chase after him.
And Matt knows this is the level you have to play to compete. They've made it to the final, and you got to be your best here because Team Gushue shows up
Mine's good.
every game.
Mine's good. Yep.
There's a reason they're one of the top teams in the world, and it's such a treat to get to have this Atlantic bubble, like you mentioned, Jeff, so that teams from around the Atlantic provinces can participate and get a tournament going on. Wanted that one to be about a rock higher.
Nose hit. What do you think?
We hear
That's a hard
Brad
trees in there. That's a short
kind of
one.
exclaim
We're
his
making this.
disapproval with that shot, and I think that's just an expectation for him to always be close to perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I do have half, I suppose, yeah.
I think that rock's in a pretty good spot, but
It's just
obviously
hit
because
a
it's
quarter
not
of it, we're
frozen
still
to the
giving it
front
2,
edge of the red,
right? Like I have to hit all I can see.
Team Manuel can make a run back and get rid of that, or maybe throw a lightweight rock around at
Just a
it.
nice 8.5, Ryan. You should be able to hold this real straight.
8.5 seconds is a pretty heavy hit he's
I don't
throwing.
think I really have enough of it.
So he must be trying to take the curl rate out of it.
Yeah, the broom is in the center of the
other
rock,
option's
and he
pick
said
it, but if I
nose hit.
stick this, we get a force. I'm going to throw this one quite as hard, 8.5.
So he's recognizing giving up a 2 in the first to Gushue's not really what he wants to do. If you miss the other shot, you can still give up 2, but you miss this, even if you're slightly hitting the yellow, it's probably going out with the weight he can throw. You'd have to bring the weight down for the other call. See if Jeff Maher can hold this. And it curled up just too much, so leaves the yellow Gushue stone shot rock in the middle of the 8-foot. And it will be a draw for the second point.
They were thrown this way.
Just that much tight on
A
you.
little fresh. What do you think for weight? I need at least what I just threw, eh? No, they throw in a couple peels, but a little bit more, Mark, wouldn't hurt. Yeah.
We hear Team Gushue talking about the path that they're going down and
3
what they
feet
think
more,
the
it's
weight is going to
20.
be, and it's a really interesting conversation to listen to as Brett and Daniel are just kind of talking about how hard they think Brad needs to throw it. Brad reminding them that there's been a couple rocks down this path, so it might be a little bit faster. They're comparing it to the draw he just threw.
That was a big ad.
So they all have a good
Not like this
understanding.
enemy.
We hear Brad just after release letting the sweepers know how much he added in his hand to make sure that it was there. So there's really a lot of communication going about
Yeah.
the weight.
Like if they got a slow time or they think it looked like he was sliding slow, it's a good reminder. Oh no, I made sure.
And it's just a pretty casual end from
that up,
Team
realistically.
Gushue.
Good shot, good enough for 2 points. So
that was
opening
really
up the
on
scoring,
it's
Team
like
Gushue with a
stuff both
2
those
in the
numbers.
first.
Any thinner you
Here
get
in the
across
final
top,
of the
like,
Stu
any
Sells
thicker, you make the back
1824 Halifax Classic.
Tough end.
Of course, we
Just
have
gotta
to
get
thank our
Ryan's
presenting
like,
sponsor, Steel Subaru, and partner sponsors, Superline Fuels, Stu Sells Realty, and of course, Clark Painter, Manulife Securities. Stay tuned. We're trying to rig up a call with Stu Sankey himself of the
The man
Stu
of the
Sells
hour.
Realty team. Can't be here. He's in Ontario, and time doesn't quite work out to have to quarantine here for 2 weeks, so we'll bring him in virtually. have a little bit of a chat in the 5th end after the halfway point.
And Stu's really become like a huge friend of the curling community. He's all over the place at different events, making sure people know who he is and saying hi, and sponsoring events like the one we have here. So,
oh, it's just fantastic to have the support.
Okay.
Top 8.
So Team Gushue lead, puts the guard exactly where they wanted it to be. What an opportunity for him to play with this team and learn from Team Gushue, Brad, Mark, Brett.
Yeah, Daniel Bruce, I mean, great curler in his own right. Junior age, last year won the Newfoundland Provincials and I think was second
Holds the line too.
in Nationals.
Luke's
Just missing out by 1 win to get that championship, but what an experience here.
Yep.
I'm always interested when a team scores a couple points and then puts up the center guard. I love it. I'm tempted to play into the rings, make the other team make the shots. You see Team Manuel not putting up the corner guard, they're playing into the rings. So it'll be kept a little cleaner here. Reminder that we do have the 5-rock rule, so sometimes you'll see the team with hammer putting up their corner guard on the second lead stone.
Whoa. Clean.
But this is just a soft white hit from Daniel.
Yeah, they're just trying to come after the red rock that's in the top 4.
Go ahead,
It isn't quite fully buried, so they've got a chance to go at it and roll
Go
away.
ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Just enough to get it through and not much more. Good shot.
Really nice control. It gives the sweepers a chance to get in on it. We saw Mark sweeping that one to help it curl a bit.
No, never.
I feel like we've heard this a couple times from Ryan early on in games. Now that we're on his
Hard.
3rd game of the tournament for us watching, Jeff, and it seems he's pretty positive on his release and just gets it out a little bit wider.
Just a little bit more than board.
And we've mentioned the ice is unforgiving. So if you're tight, it's probably hard to hold the line if you don't get it early. And if you're wide with a little extra weight, they don't seem to be coming back.
Whoa.
So good chance here for Brett to make a hit and roll behind the center line guard. Really put some pressure on Team Manuel.
Hard right.
It's going to kind of be a race for the next couple shots to see who can make the roll first.
Okay, good try.
See, Brett doesn't quite get there. He rolls it a little bit closer to the guard, so that makes it a bit easier on Team Manuel. They don't have to roll quite as far. I'd imagine that if Team Manuel is the first team to make the roll behind the center, that Team Gushue will likely play the run back.
Oh, yeah. The ice has been nice this weekend for those run backs. It holds nice and straight with that added weight. Get a bit of a roll. Partly buried. A little easier to get this way. Stick the shooter.
Not far enough under the guard that Brad's going to play the run back. He's asked Brett to play the lightweight hit on the part that's open. Again, likely trying to roll way out as far as they can away from the center guard, so Matt can't try and hit and roll right back in behind.
Yep. Whoa. Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead. Follow through, Mark, on the red. Make sure it goes. Roll the yellow. Roll the yellow.
I was just looking up. Heard Brad, I said Daniel Bruce because I thought he was the skip of the team. But, and just as I was looking up my correction to find out who on the team's named Ryan, Patrick Williams, thank you for sending me a note. The lead is Ryan McNeil Lambswood, and I am very sorry about that to any of Daniel's family and friends that are watching.
Hard, Ryan. Okay, just clean. You're good.
You found me online, Patrick.
Want to play normal or?
So we see them way out in the wings now. Not likely to see a hit and roll into the center, which benefits Team Gushue as they try to avoid giving up a big score.
Whoa, right.
And we'll likely see Team Manuel change gears and look for a blank.
It's the 10, Luke. Yep.
So not too much on the go, but like you said, Jeff, whoever can get in behind that guard is going to be putting the pressure on.
And if we stay out, way out on the wing here, we might see Team Manuel decide to throw a draw behind the center instead of playing this hit out in the wing.
Real hard, real hard. Nothing.
I think you want normal to try and stay above the tee line. Yeah.
So the race to get behind the center with the hit and roll is back on. Team Manuel did not want to roll into the middle a little bit, so it's made it much easier for Team Gushue to do that.
Whoa.
They've upped the weight so that they can hit more of the rock and still make the correct amount of roll and stay in front of the tee line.
Go, 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 go,
Watch
go,
this
go, go.
roll.
Okay, good shot.
Pretty nice. Good control of that up weight.
Stop it back.
Still able to sweep, but keeps
Back
the
8.
roll pretty flat. I think Luke can see a piece of it. And they're not playing this to remove it, are they?
No, they're just trying to move it back about a foot, I think, with back 8 weight. Sit right in front of it. The line's going to be really important. If you throw that weight and you only hit about half the rock and roll to the left, you give Team Gushue a chance to hit the thrown rock and roll back in behind and maybe sit 2 behind the guards instead.
Easy. Whoa then. Whoa, 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 whoa.
So a hair heavy we're hearing from the sweepers.
Yeah, hard Ryan.
So important to be accurate because that'll affect the line. The skip needs to know.
Get it out if you can. Right out, right out.
So
right
that
out.
one was just a little heavy. The call was back 8, and that made contact and rolled through.
Had a hunch you might
Probably pretty keen here now, I would think.
Had a hunch you might
Okay.
overthrow
So this is a really good
play it
chance
like
for
a
Team
draw.
Gushue to put some pretty significant pressure on Team Manuel here in the
That was too
second
much.
end after taking 2 in the
Think it's
first
up to,
end.
like max speed.
You hear the teams talking. I know a lot of people rely on
I was thinking more like
stopwatches
25,
and
but
split times, but it's always interesting to hear the conversation. The sweepers are using stopwatches, but
full forward.
when they're communicating with Brad, and we're seeing this more and more, it's all just about feel. So 6 more feet than in that path, or you heard Brad say, I think it's up to max speed, so as good as it's going to get or as good as it's been on all the other sheets, so they would be talking
Easy
about
for
what
line.
that's like, and always good communication.
Line's good. You got room. Still got room. Still got room.
Watch
So we
this
hear Mark
curl
yelling
in.
that the line's fine. They're just trying to get the weight right and put it right in the right spot.
Hard. Hard.
That one looks like it might have just died on him a little bit. They were hoping for top 4.
What'd I give you?
You kind of have to do it.
Yeah. 20, 20,
I don't
25.
have
would've
to.
been
I could
perfect.
play it myself, right?
Hearing those splits, it is fast.
Or
We
if
can
I
tell it's fast.
little
They're
tighter
gliding
line,
and
allow
they're
you to
very good for sweepers to be able to carry the rocks. The mistake is always to overthrow, but you want to throw it enough that they can get it to where they need to. So what's Matt looking at here? He's got a couple options because that yellow in the top 8
Think
that
of
Brad
that
just
same
threw,
speed down
he's
here.
going to
was
use that
pretty
as a
slick
guard.
what he just threw. I feel like it's at least a couple feet slower over here.
So
We're
they're
gonna
just
get an
playing the
extra
draw.
6
They
inches
talked
of
about a
curl,
little tap.
At least.
Tap and roll on the back 4-foot, but I think just my initial thought was plant one right in there, try and bury it around the top 8-foot stone.
Yeah, I think your first thought might be to hit that back one and try and roll in behind the pile, but it really doesn't put you in that great of a
Just an inch
spot.
less, Ryan.
You'd be in the back four, maybe just in the back four. We saw Team Manuel try and throw a whole bunch of hit and rolls in this end, and they didn't execute on any of them perfectly. So I think they're feeling more comfortable throwing the draw here. They've got a little bit more control over where it goes. They can work on it with the sweeping.
You think? I thought it was real close.
What we didn't hear them talking about
Line's
as much
real
as we
good.
hear
Make
Team
sure.
Gushue talking about is what the path was,
Yeah,
how many
Jeff in
rocks
right
have been
now.
down here, how
Loop
fast
in,
it's
loop in.
going to be.
Yep.
Definitely going to be buried.
Hard, you
This
gotta get
one
by.
is moving.
Whoa.
All right, good shot if you can, Mark.
Sit.
Like to be shot. Okay.
So,
a very
rock
good
heavy.
chance. Yeah,
Wow.
very
Guess we
good
can
try by
here, we
Team
gotta make
Manuel.
sure
The,
we're
the
just a
line
little
was
high side, yeah.
perfect.
So
It
really, we
just
just need to probably take
carried
this
an
for
extra
Room was
foot.
almost too tight.
Well, no, I'd like to get
Really good attempt from Matt. He
Like,
wishes
edge
it was
on edge with that is pretty good.
a little above the tee line.
Yeah.
2 guards in front, but Brad's got to make a good one here.
How was that for speed?
Doesn't want to leave a double on the yellows, so it can't be too deep.
Other options that
Tough
Brad
one.
didn't even consider is
Like to be
throwing
line two
maybe a
after
back
this.
line shot on the other side and tapping that red back. I
Yeah, you
always
can
like
probably
sitting,
see a piece.
I always like sitting 3, but this straight draw to the top 4 is a really good chance to put a good counter rock in there, sit shot behind guards.
Felt like it was there. Room. Line's good. Yep. Yes.
They know it curls.
Hard for line. Line's good. Room.
Back button is the call. You heard Brett. That's where they'd like it.
The line's perfect. They're just hoping it stops in the right spot, and that's a great shot.
Pretty good. You hear the frustration out of Matt. His rock was so close, but it needed to be
The only shot he has is a
right around where
laser
that
fading
yellow is
double.
was the goal.
It's tough to get there.
Unless he can make the roll and catch the back of the button.
I don't think so. The only we could throw
That
peel
felt like
and try
4
it.
to 6 feet more.
That would be really thin though. We could do this and give him one, try and keep hammer.
Don't hear that too often.
Just
Can you
tight,
roll to the
right?
back of the button?
Just plan to give them one. I think you want to try for your
another inch out of
single
line.
early on in the game.
I think we throw peel at it, so if I clip the
Matt
top,
is always
we're
very
picking it
practical.
across, right?
Yeah.
And that there isn't a whole lot of situations
What?
on the scoreboard where
Well,
he doesn't think that he can still
That's just
compete.
really thin,
so
but I just like
in a situation like
right,
this
if
where
I
he's
throw,
looking
if I
at
throw like a
2,
board and try and I almost
he's
can't
very
roll the board, but if I throw
straightforward.
like a normal,
if I could just give
Yeah,
him
it's
one and
definitely
get
there,
out of
but hit it
this,
perfect.
we're down 3.
you're squeaking
Yeah.
the top.
Still
throw,
a curling
throw
game.
Peel,
we
yeah.
get 2 next end.
8.5.
Yeah, could have stayed a hair straighter.
So they're playing the thin, trying for 2 here.
Giving up a one's not the worst. It gives us a chance to score 2
Or we
next
get
end.
another inch out of it.
Got to remove one of these yellows. Trying to hit that top one real thin, enough to move it out of the 4-foot and chip the back one. I don't know if your shooter will stick around.
Get Brett on it up at the tolly and really just kind of wrap it in there, put it right on top of the pin.
Yep. Whoa. Yep.
So thin is what we're looking for here.
What a great shot by Matt.
Made it for the single. 1 red it'll be. So with that,
Good shot.
called and made. Matt Manuel gets the single point. Trails 2-1 to Gushue.
Yeah.
Going into the 3rd end, Gushue will have hammer. And if you've ever
Yeah.
been at the
Yeah. It's kind of going to
Stu
be one or
Sells
the other.
1824 Halifax Classic here at the Halifax Curling Club, you probably have noticed the
Nice.
silent auction that the club has going on as a fundraiser. It's on again this year, but due
what do you wanna
to
do here?
COVID-19, surprise, surprise, it's online. Who could have guessed? It is up and running now and is running for 3 weeks. So if you log on to, or you just type in halifaxcurl.com in your web browser, you will go to the club's page where you'll see a link to the auction website
Okay, you like the take?
And I'm just taking a look now. There's some awesome stuff on here, and some of them don't have too many bids on, so you could still probably get them. They'll have this running until December the 4th. There's a Balance Plus broom, a gift card to Bertozzi Restaurants. There's a chiropractic assessment, initial assessment from Dr. Bridget McPhail, fellow curler. Green, I think it's a tea time, or I don't know what you call that, at Brightwood Golf and Country Club. I don't golf.
I
don't golf, can you tell? Bishop Cellar wine package, Clearwater dinner, Coastal Sports gift certificate, Cobra Puma golf gift card. I'm just going through. Package from Dalhousie.
Real nice and tight, guys.
Prize package from Halifax Distilling Company. Oh, Harbor Fishing Prize. There's Paul Fleming's company, another curler. Hardline broom. I'll just keep going through the list here. Some awesome local prizes. Jolly Tails got in on it with the dog gift basket. Liquid Gold, everybody's favorite place for all things olive. Marie Christensen, I'll mention her massage gift certificate. Fantastic stuff here. And a bunch of gift cards for Murphy Hospitality, New Scotland package, NSLC gift cards. Could keep going. Propeller Brewing got in on it.
Mine's good.
You get the picture. Go to halifaxcurl.com. Click on the link, bid, and support the Halifax Curling Club so they can host more events like this and keep a safe space for all of its members this year. Did you bid on any yet?
I haven't yet.
I got to get on.
I'm the type of bidder that likes to wait right until the end and try and steal
make it
one away
fun.
from someone. I'm not
You're
much
no
of a gambler.
If you can.
You can also follow Halifax Curling
Keep
at
it out there, Luke. Line's tight.
name
real
Halifax
tight.
Curl on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And I'm sure you'll see updates for the silent auction there, as well as other events throughout the year.
Hard, Luke.
I see Team Manuel really scrubbing away on this one to try and get it by the front, and it just rubs.
Nose hit. Board weight.
So again, Team Gushue with that soft hit weight for Ryan McNeil Lambswood.
Close. Yep. Whoa.
Yeah, poor Ryan. I feel bad for using the wrong name for the first little while there.
Mark, go, 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 go.
I thought I was good. I had checked, and well, that's all good. I'm sure he'll forgive me. Now we know.
I'm sure we have a lot of family members of the players
Good
watching.
Like
I know.
top and try and spin it into here.
Brecca Lance family in Prince Edward Island are always very connected to Brett's games. So shout out to everyone in Prince Edward Island that's watching top. Brett.
What? You need like back line at least probably to get to spin off the yellow.
So talking about a tap, but it's not made easy by the fact
Just
of
pretty much nose.
red and yellow being overlapped.
Pretty straight down here, Jeff.
But if Jeff can make this, there'll be a few rocks out front protecting it. Two of them yellow, though, and those run backs will be eyed.
Easy, easy, clean, yep. Whoa! Whoa, whoa! Ryan.
This one's hanging. They want to get it to almost nose. Rubbed off the other yellow.
So straight.
Nose. What kind of weight do you want? Board, normal? Okay.
So we see Team Gushue preparing for the run back here. They probably don't like those centerline guards very much, or maybe any of these guards, to be honest, but they do get a chance to use one here to make a good shot.
Easy. Clean.
This is a down weight run back. You don't normally see them thrown quite like this. But they control it.
We heard Team Manuel talking about how straight that last shot was, so we'll have to watch that spot to see if it continues to be straight the whole game. We saw their draws in the last end curling quite a bit on that same side of the sheet. So interesting that they think that spot is pretty straight.
What's it look like to you, like 9.5?
So just unlucky for Brett there. He plays the run back. It just rolls into the center there in the hole between those two guards. So it gives Team Manuel a chance to make a hit and roll.
Just like last end, both teams fighting for positioning behind guards or guards out in front. Hits and rolls.
Hard! Just came off the line.
Got a little bit of a roll, but not enough. It's still available.
Got an option to kind of clean this up a little bit up here if you like. Could do that and kick that out. Maybe spin it behind,
That's
but at
not
least...
bad. I should have been on that. I could see it was coming down a little.
So if a hit and roll is kind of accomplishing two shots, a hit and a draw and one. Brad's talking to Brett about the potential for running a yellow and making a couple shots out of it too. Removing another guard.
You're looking to hit 2/3 of it. Let's throw normal. We're going to bump it over a little bit. See if we can stick that there. Oh my God, no. You don't need to come that close to it. You squeak to it, you're probably just doing that. Yeah. So you're looking for 2/3.
They're playing it as if that red isn't there. You don't have to just squeeze by it. Heard Brad say 2/3 of a rock on the yellow, and the shooter will punch that red sideways a little bit.
And I think they're hoping to roll the run back rock in behind the shooter still.
Ryan. Ryan. Hard, Ryan. Hard, 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 hard. Oh. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good.
That wasn't the...
Didn't work out too badly for them, though.
Pretty good result for Brad. We hear him apologizing because it wasn't the called shot.
Make this, I think.
Just a little bit of that Newfoundland hospitality, even in a competitive sport like curling.
Sorry, we made a great shot, but we didn't mean to.
Make this. You'll just kind of go into the side of it. Just push it to there, kind of. 2/3.
It's a lot of yellow in the top and front of the rings.
You want the in or the out? Okay.
This is a pretty short run back for Luke.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Shot.
Made it and rolled the shooter to the center line. So some back-to-back nice shots here from the
good
thirds.
Shot by Luke.
Trying to hit it thin.
Couldn't have asked for much more, I don't think, with that shot.
I'm going to end up killing this one too, so...
You see, Brad, this is all about control of the front of the rings. A lot of newer curlers would say, well, we'll just put one in. But in this case, Brad's okay if the team blanks. Not seeing great opportunity for a couple with those short run backs available. So
yes.
Trying to clean
Mark
things
Nichols
up.
is such a weapon that sometimes it almost feels like Brad's daring the other team to try to go around one of their guards so that Mark can make the run back.
Beauty.
And that shooter. Spun. It's so frustrating when you're sweeping your opponent's rock behind the tee and then it just swoops back.
10.
So you can't really ignore it. You hate hitting a rock that's half in the back 12 foot, but
yeah, and for
it
Team
must be
Manuel, you know you have to hit it, but you're not super happy about it because it likely just gives Gushue a couple easy hits, and then they blank the end and move on to the next one.
Ryan. Hard for nose.
And there we go, right on the nose.
Just nose it, Mark.
Just got distracted.
Yeah, I was wondering why Matt wasn't sweeping that. I figure he thought it might have stuck around, and then it kept going. We couldn't really tell the momentum it had.
I didn't even realize it was going to spill through that.
I'm not sure it would have changed it a whole lot. I know Matt's a pretty intense
maybe he's
guy.
giving himself more credit for his sweeping abilities than really is the case. It's so hard to drag those out with there's no momentum in them. They're just spinning.
Clean. 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 Good throw.
Just nice and easy.
10. Does come up here, Ryan.
There is a bit of risk here for Team Manuel. They have to make sure that they stay precise with these hit and rolls. Sorry, for the hits on the nose
Nice
here in the
stay
back.
close. They're coming up
If they
here a
do
little
happen
bit.
to hit and roll out, there is another yellow rock there. I'm sure
Yeah, I'll
Team
try not to
Gushue would either love to come around it and put some pressure on Matt to make a good shot, or maybe make a split to get both of them into the house.
No, my God, no. It went up. Oh, did it? Yeah. Yeah, the red was higher than the yellow. Yeah, it was never.
Nose
Actually,
hit.
tight to kind of
Clean.
squeeze
Yep.
through,
Yep. Whoa,
Into the
whoa.
corner, I was like,
but- Yeah.
Jeff, clean. Luke. Whoa, 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 whoa.
And that'll do it.
You
Pretty
get a
solidly
rock
right on the
roll
nose
outside,
there.
it's fine.
They figured out that piece of, or that strip of ice. You heard Matt say it comes up a little bit there. We've seen a lot of straight spots, but it seemed to be making a bit of movement here.
Slippery tight on him. The rock got on a nice path. We'll call it that. What do
Forward
you
weight.
think we know is it? Draw edge at 8, make him hit the 8-foot. Tough draw the 8-foot for 2. So much
Clean.
better throw than mine.
Clean. Yep.
We hear Matt just giggling in the back there that Brad just threw that one a little bit cleaner than maybe Matt threw his.
Hard.
Maybe that's why this one's coming up. Oh, right on the nose.
So was it a little light?
Yeah.
No.
8.5. We got to keep it decently
less
flat.
than
Like a 9.5's almost rolling out. Yep. Yep.
So Matt's got to
8.5.
try and make it hard for Brad. He's not just going to give him the open hit for the blank. This is the play for the roll behind that guard. Make Brad have to draw for the single or make a tough hit for the blank.
I
think we give
understand
this
what
a go.
Matt's
I
trying
don't
here.
really mind seeing him play that
So mine
split,
might
I don't
have been
think.
like
If I roll out, he has a chance at that
11-1,
split.
Just listening to
11-2,
Matt
11-10,
before I
something like
finish
that.
my thought.
The hit and roll.
My intern should.
The important thing is to remove that back
I mean,
yellow
it's
stone
it's not a gimme,
and stick your shooter.
right? And if we get the force, we got hammer and 4.
That one felt good. Like it came out, felt clean.
So again, just listening to Matt talk to the front end about the shot that they're calling. I had talked previously about the biggest risk that they could do is rolling out, and by choosing to hit and roll behind this guard, they're making that more likely. And the biggest risk would have been to leave Gushue that open split, but Matt openly said he didn't think that that was that easy of a shot, and he was okay with giving Brad that opportunity
Thought we had that actually
by
for a
taking
second
the
there.
risk to try
Like,
and
hold that a
roll
little
behind the
straighter, hold
corner.
that in.
The force was that important.
Yeah.
Willing to take a little bit of risk.
I was thinking, I think we let them play that split if they wanted to. I don't know if they would have.
It's very
have to play
vocal.
it
He's
on the
still
other
telling
side,
us that.
Yeah. I don't know who he's trying to convince anymore.
Maybe himself.
That's what I was kind of saying. I was like, roll out, give them a crack at it.
We always do like to hear the thought process, and both these teams with each other are very communicative, so it helps us
Which is
at
such
home.
a unique part of watching curling on TV with the microphones is
Sorry, guys.
you really get to hear what they're thinking. You don't get that in a lot of other sports. Like you're not in the huddle with the quarterback when you're watching football. You don't get to hear the pitcher and the catcher talking about what pitch they're going to throw or how they're going to throw it. So it kind of brings you right into the house with the skips.
Sorry,
Yeah,
that
it's
was my
really
bad.
neat because
I
you're
should
not
have paid more
protecting. I always
attention
think
to
like
the house.
football, you're protecting against plays and trying not to have anybody find that out. So it has to be very secretive. But
Yeah.
curling's broadcast, and we know what they're thinking. The teams out there might not know as much because they can't hear each other like we can. So Brad just a little tight on that peel attempt. So Team Manuel got the force they were looking for, but not how they expected to get it. So 1 point on the board for Team Gushue. They'll take it to 3-1.
And Team Manuel has the hammer here, and they're going to try and generate 2 points this end.
Yep. Sorry, guys. That was sloppy. Good shot.
Top fort.
So Matt's not using the corner guard again. This is the same setup as in the second end.
Line's close. Close for line, Jeff.
It's been another
Line's
great
good.
year for the Stu Cells 1824
Whoa.
Halifax Classic. 16
yep.
teams from the Atlantic
Whoa.
provinces.
Right,
In the other
right.
years, the first year,
kinda come out
inaugural
this
year
side, actually,
2018,
but-
there were 16 teams,
Sit.
mostly from
Okay.
Eastern Canada. Last year, 20 teams, back-to-back champs. Team Howard are not able to attend this year. Of course, we mentioned the bubble and quarantine and all things COVID. So we're sad to not have them. Excited to see who will take it this year. I think Gushue was in the final the first year against Howard, and it was an exciting final.
A lot of room, Mark.
CT Manuel's first rock just barely sneaks a little bit behind the tee line.
Higher the better on this. Just let it stop. Let
You
it
see
stop.
Team Gushue trying to follow
Yeah,
it down, but
we're
they've
not
got
bearing any of it. Whoa,
lots
whoa,
of
Mark.
room past
Whoa,
the
Mark.
guard.
Off Mark. It's not. Okay.
I wanted that one to get a bit buried. It's available with air, I think, for Ryan Abraham.
Think I like that. No, you don't. What? Sorry?
It's nice to get a second one in there. The closer the Reds are grouped, the easier the run back double makes, or is. I think that's what Ryan's worried
I
about.
just don't love the angles. Like, you make it real good, they lock it on the side. Yeah, I think I like that for now. Yeah, hack. Enough to kill it.
You really have to be precise here with every shot that you're making. Making a good hit and roll here, you might not be out of the woods. You might have Brett Gallant throwing that run back double right at you.
Clean.
And we all talk about the 5 rock rule where you can't remove your opponent's stones, but that's a Gushue
Stay
stone
close.
out front, so they can run that back all day.
Luke.
Not a bad strategy to always have the rock that you're going to run back be yours and keep the other team from playing their own guard.
Okay.
Didn't quite get the roll they were looking for, so I think Brett might have a double on the Reds.
Play the double. It's just, you can try and stick it with normal or just rip the double. I don't mind just ripping it. Peel.
So not probably going to keep
half.
the shooter on this one. Half rock with peel weight is not going to stick around.
Yeah, and Brad deciding that keeping the shooter isn't really his priority. He wants to make sure that the 2 Reds are gone.
Whoa. Clean. Whoa. Good.
Makes it easy, and you see those rocks fly out of the rings. House has been nice and lively. The rocks moving easily. Good speed. Nice curl. Good conditions for the players all weekend.
Good shot made there by Brett, and now
Room.
Team Manuel
Lots
is
of room.
trying to get another one behind the center line guard here so they can
Hard then.
continue
You
to
can
put
both go,
pressure on
Ryan.
Gushue.
Still hasn't curled back to the broom. Not too deep, just here. I don't want to leave them. Ryan, whoa, don't kill yourself. We're not burying it.
Just
Those
hack.
are the ones you go, well, it's not
Like
going to
good
be
hack.
great. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. Another soft weight hit. Both these teams have all those weights in their arsenal.
Go ahead, Ryan.
They practice everything.
We're back to a race to hit and roll behind the guard first.
Okay.
Team Gushue isn't going to be there first, but that rock is now very high up in the house, and if Team Manuel does make a hit and roll here, it's going to be a very short run back for Team Gushue, and we see Matt now indicating that maybe the big roll is better. Because they also don't want to be stuck in an end where they might be forced to take one.
No, they'd love to tie it up after this with a 2.
Whoa!
But you need room to work with, so the bigger roll will mean that the shooter, the shot stone, will travel a bit further back in the rings.
Close. Yep. Hard.
Watch this roll. Matt's making sure.
Real nice, Jeff.
Yeah, so that was exactly what they were hoping for.
Go normal.
Yeah, you got to be real pure.
Very similar to the second end where we had these nose hits and nobody wanted to roll out because you knew the other team's going to loop one around the guard.
Whoa.
That's the case here.
Okay.
So will Matt just ignore that and play the come around?
Top 8, Luke.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the call.
It's a relatively short run back, but at least you give yourself the chance here.
I don't hate it on the in-turn, too, just to try to get more curl.
I feel like if you play the in-turn, that the other side is curling so much that we've seen a tendency for teams to overbury and actually pop out the other side. And they've been playing this. Should know the ice.
I think we'll see if Team Manuel doesn't get it completely buried, that Team Gushue will likely just throw a lightweight hit at it instead of the run back. But if it's completely buried in a good spot, we'll likely see the run back come at us next.
Jeff's in. No, Ryan's in. Ryan's in. You gotta go, Ryan. You gotta go. You gotta bury it.
I want to cross center on this.
Well, yeah.
Don't really want to be behind the tee. It just will stop on the tee line.
Just want to freeze it.
A hair back.
Much better than
Pretty
that.
good Crocono shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right on the pin. He might have an in-off at the end. It'll be pretty flat, but certainly makeable.
So because it slipped just a little bit behind the tee line, this is a really good chance for Team Gushue to play a freeze here and put pressure on Matt to try and make a good shot to not be forced into one. They're talking about the availability of the in-off off of the Gushue stone out on the out 12. But it'd be pretty flat, and he'd have to throw it really hard to make that work.
Well then.
Tough for Manuel, a foot higher. And the shot's not there.
Needs a curl, if anything. Needs a curl, needs a curl. Ryan's in.
Ryan sweeping for curl here.
Boys, is light, hard, hard, hard. Shit. Okay. Not a bad spot.
Doesn't quite lock on, but it's important that it wasn't heavy. Heavy was definitely the way not to miss.
If he plays that, I probably have a double back, or worst case, I should be able to come off of this for a few.
So Matt's looking right now. It's always thinking, okay, what do we have to do to give ourselves a chance for 2? 1 is there, but that yellow's queued up to
he might try to take it away from
chip it backwards.
If he stuffed that, yeah, because then I probably won't even be able to rip double.
In an ideal world, I guess that rock sits there, and Matt has a draw on his last to the full 4.
Yeah.
But Gushue's not going to try and make that happen.
I know, but if he ever did play that and make it, we're hooped.
Gushue's aware that Manuel has the in-off, but Gushue could play the in-off off their own. That's what they're worried about if they place an overlapping rock.
That's pretty tough to place. And he just taps it onto it, yeah. Okay.
See lots of options with that Yellowstone top 4 foot.
Just don't turn on my mic.
What? Like, I guess you could try that, but I mean, yeah, you make a real good one. He still just plants that under the guard. Yeah. Okay, I think try and gamble on this, I guess.
All right, here we go. They've made their decision.
He makes
and
it good.
they're,
We'll have to run it.
Yeah, they're committed to playing into the rings.
The hit and roll. I don't hate it. No, a nose hit's not good, but. All right, let's make a call. Let's play this. Yeah.
They've settled with their original shot. Pretty similar.
Whoa. Looks like
Pretty
a bullet.
similar to what Luke just threw, but on the other side of the sheet.
No,
This side
don't
curls more,
touch
so
it.
might have added a bit for that reason, but
We really
not
saw the
curling.
draws
Yeah, make
out
sure
here
you're past it.
curling
Make sure you're past it,
2
guys.
ends ago.
Hard.
so this
You
is
can't
plan
leave side
B.
by side. Hard, Jeff.
Well, the weight wasn't too far off.
Yeah.
It's too bad that didn't curl earlier. They thought that was heavy all day, and the weight really came off. Just didn't curl up. They wanted it behind the guard. Brad has the double on the Reds.
There wasn't really much you could do there.
Yeah, pick half, yeah.
Maybe not spot 10 drop is short, but even still, would have still
Nice.
been a pretty gimme shot.
What's that?
Good chance here for Brad to clear. He obviously is playing the double and wants to get rid of both Reds, but just clearing that one off the button and rolling the other one away is a really good opportunity to get at this rock.
Hard! Clean!
Yeah, and he
Made
makes it
no
exactly the way that
problem.
he needed to.
I think we're gambling on back button.
Brush.
So Brad's thrown his first, but this is Matt's first.
I need some technical work when I get home. I just don't feel locked in right now. So
I think we got to take this on. I mean, we don't
making
have to,
stuff
but
up.
No real chance to blank, and you don't want to get forced, so play around the center guard.
it is. You're right.
Back button.
Last one here.
Brad will, if he can't hit it, he'll just freeze
At the
one
same
on
time,
top.
As long as this is in the 4-foot shot, even if you can see half, I'll have the same draw with my last one for one.
There you hear the rationale.
Yeah, back button.
I think
Leave
I'm
him
just
the
kind
same
of reaching a
draw,
little
have the
bit,
in off for
not getting the
2.
rock. I feel it's
Full
not
back
coming
four,
straight
guys.
out.
Gotta
on
be-
the
gotta be
line. I
shot,
think
though.
Sometimes it's coming out this way.
A little hot. Easy, Luke. Easy, Luke.
What's that?
Running like it's real hot.
This looks heavy, Mark.
Matt's really hoping this one slows down like Luke's did the rock just before.
Yeah, he knew
I
it
don't
was
think
hot
this
out
is
of his
close.
hand, but it is not stopping.
Okay.
I don't wanna go
Just
right
through.
What do you like here? Well, I don't mind him trying this. I was thinking get to the nose and try and bump it a rock. Pretty flat.
So Matt knows with
I
that.
think
He's getting
if we did
forced
that,
here,
he
and
really has to
Brad
draw there.
is looking at how to prevent that from happening.
Just don't have the feel for it right now.
Then he just plays triple.
You hear both skips kind of saying that. Not quite on their A game today.
Like here. Yeah, I'd kind of like. Yeah.
And that's frustrating as a player when you're out there and you just don't feel like you're throwing it well. And
Yeah.
we saw Brad talking about not throwing it well, but he had a pretty good
All right, you
result,
can
making
afford
the
to hit
double
it a
and
hair
rolling
high.
out. And
Yeah,
Matt,
there's a
Matt
big
talking
difference,
about not
yeah.
throwing it
Yeah,
well and
yes.
his draw going right through the house. So that's tricky, and that feeling can really be
bump it
insidious.
to
That
nibble
can really
button.
stick with you and affect your ability to make shots in the future.
What have been thrown? Okay. Right, that 20-ish. Okay.
So a really good chance here for Brad to make a good shot and put Team Manuel in a whole lot of trouble.
That felt a little light.
Leave him just a piece of the button to try and draw around in that path he just threw heavy.
Line's good.
So we see the Team Gushue sweepers really working on that one. They're taking it easy now and just kind of guiding it in.
Line's good.
They were really hoping to
Just
get
wanna
right to the
move it.
nose of that rock and tap it just a rock length. Very close to
Pretty
exactly
good.
what they wanted to do. A little bit more weight, I think they would have been happy to have that touching part of the button.
Yeah, they were always going to leave Matt this
Do we
draw.
ever take just a little
Just
more?
trying to make it harder, and they're happy with a force
A
as
little
well.
better, not much.
Yeah, you almost got a touch button. He moved it like 2 or 3 inches forward.
And probably needed a hair less ice, because I felt that was a little tight on you there. And
I had a 15.3. It's slick down here.
yeah,
Should be a little slower.
So
on this
Matt's
side
just
with
gonna
a little bit extra
adjust.
curl. Probably a high 14, 15.
yeah.
Just
I don't know
through.
what else to do there. Well, it's
A little heavy. Probably 8 feet heavy.
try and throw one
Accounting
on
for
the
sweepers.
inside next to it would have been the only thing, but all he would have needed
At least
was
6
a
feet it
couple
went
of
through.
balls aside, like they gotta
It's half the
swing
house.
right back.
So last shot here in the 4th end. Down 2 and
Starting to curl
being
now.
forced. Sweepers
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
watching
whoa,
this
whoa.
one. Luke Saunders and Jeff Marr.
Take a look!
They need to
This one's
bite
still got a
Justin!
curl to
piece
get
of
a
the
part of
button.
the button.
T! Easy!
See how far it slides.
Hurt.
Just too far, I think.
Maybe still a one.
Slide.
And looks like a single for yellow, the yellow Gushue stone.
Even as that was coming into the house, I think both Brad and Mark thought that it was going to stop, but Mark, the experienced veteran, gets in there with his broom anyway just to give it a chance, and we see it slide just a little bit too far, and that's one for Gushue.
Yeah, you got to try. So there,
that was
after
good
4
stuff.
ends of play,
Yeah.
Like short of the rings and look really good.
4-1 lead for Gushue. As we reach the halfway mark of the game. And we'll thank once again our presenting sponsors, Steel Subaru, and partner sponsors, Superline Fuels, Do Sells Realty, and Clark Painter with Manulife Securities. Of course, huge thank you to 360 Live, our technical producer. And it seems like we got a whole crew of people, but it's just one guy running all the cameras. Thank you, Brian, for all of your work this
Yeah,
week.
certainly
It's been a
doesn't need it.
pleasure to watch.
Sorry, Ryan. Sorry, bud. Halfway.
So
And
we
so
see Ryan's first rock there slide into the back 4. We hear Brad and Mark apologizing. They maybe thought that it was going to stop a little bit shorter than that. So now we see Team Manuel throwing the corner guards. They really have to start generating some points to get back into this game.
Halfway to tight, guys. Can't leave it too high. Hard, Jeff. Pass the dot. Pass the
So
dot,
they're
Jeff.
looking for this nice corner guard, not too wide, not too
Hey,
deep.
it's a good spot, Ryan.
8 foot.
And that's nice. Covers a good chunk of the 8 foot. Enough room to curl around, a couple rocks. When they're too tight to the center line, they almost become center guards, and you want to have a little bit of room. Ryan McNeil Lambswood, his first one just
Sweep for
behind the
Foley.
tee line, the back 4 foot. So they're putting this one in the rings, not a guard.
Yeah, I think
Line's fine.
Team Gushue is
Sweep
fully
away.
expecting
Fully.
Team Manuel to throw
can even
another
nibble the
corner
4 if you
guard
want.
here. So if they put if Gushue puts another rock in a good spot here in the house after
shot.
seeing Team Manuel throw another corner,
Just even with it, Ryan.
they're likely to put a guard down the center and really make Team Manuel work to get their rocks out of play.
I think we saw something like this in the first end. Some well-placed stones on the center line, and they got to work. So stay tuned. We're trying to rig up
The foot past the
a
dots.
call with our event namesake, Stuart Sankey.
Oh, no.
That's where Stu Sells comes from.
Even with this red, which is just maybe a rock tighter than the broom one.
So here comes that center guard. No surprises.
Yeah, and then the ball is really back in Team Manuel's court. They've got to decide whether they want to be very aggressive and start play behind their corners and worry about the Team Gushue rocks later, or if they want to try a run back and roll or something like that, or a come around tap on the Gushue rock. So Team Gushue really is in the driver's seat right here, and they're forcing Team Manuel to really go after them.
Gonna need to curl a bit, Mark. Let Ryan in there. Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead, Ryan, for line. Go. Gotta go. Good.
Just got that finish nicely lined up on the center line. There you see the line of yellows.
How hard does this look? It's not bad if you take the guard either. Like just enough to push it out, right? Gotta keep rocks at play. Like, could make the run double. I kind of like this. Nah, the miss is tight and ticking off the guard and rolling in.
So no big weight shots here for Team Manuel. The important thing is to keep the shooter around.
Yep. Hard.
And I have audio, or I have video on Stuart Sankey, but I don't know if he's got his audio hooked up into the stream. Stu, can you say hi?
Spin it, Ryan. Spin it.
I can hear you.
Good. Real nice.
I'm just checking with Brian if it's coming through on the stream. Okay, sounds like we can hear you. So hi. Thanks for joining. A little bit of an exciting game. It's nice to see rocks in play. Couple misses there from Team Manuel and resulting in those steals, but otherwise a very well played game so far. I know you're watching online.
I don't mind the guard if we're line 3.
I know, it's too bad we can't have you. We'd like to keep ourselves nice and safe, but we're so glad you're watching and are partnered with the event for another year, the 3rd year. So just want to talk about how you got involved in this. You want to give a little bit of background with this tournament?
Hit and roll. I think we got to be aggressive. I don't want to hit and roll here. Nose, yeah. Do you just want to nose it then? The only problem is with the nose, if he hits and rolls here, that's a tough peel. I kind of like throwing a bit of weight.
Yeah, it's excellent. I know the players here are so grateful to have something like this. Run a lot like the other events that you sponsor in Ontario. You have a series of 4. Is this the 5th, or am I incorrect on that?
Even if
it's 8 now. Oh my goodness. You're a busy guy.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Hi, Mark. I got it. Real good.
Get 2 of them.
I was going to say, it's sounding a lot like a nice slam, kind of slam series with the prizes and benefiting from playing in multiple events. That's excellent. You probably have positive feedback from the players and are interested in playing as well.
It's like a real thick half, thin 2/3. I don't think so. We got to move. I like to move these and get these unlocked. I was thinking almost a 10, just hit it in the right spot. The roll's the key, right? Thick, real thick.
My biggest question, will we see you playing in one of the events as a competitor?
Yep.
I know you curl. That's why you're here. You wouldn't be doing all this if you didn't love curling.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yep. It's good. Real good.
Wow.
Nose hitter, a little roll.
He hung on.
Nice
And
job.
so I'll
Real good
point out that you sponsor these events under the Stu Cells banner. Did you want to talk a little bit about that so everybody knows what you do and how they can help support curling too?
Clean, yep, yes. Gotta go. Hard. Whoa. Okay, good brushing, guys.
Let's roll it on. Got to make sure we roll over there. Like, what? It is a catcher, yeah.
That's
like half
excellent.
A rock goes right into it.
Well, we'll probably switch back
but
to the game
I'd
now
like
here,
to keep
but
that there,
I want to say thank you again for participating.
don't
We
like
miss
going
you
like
in
a
the
little bit of
bubble.
weight, though.
We've
It's
seen
like
you
a
the past
9.5.
couple years, and fingers crossed for next year you'll be able to come back. All right. Awesome. Thanks, Stu. All right. See ya. Bye.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Hard.
All right, Jeff. I'm relying on you to catch us up.
All right, so we've seen a.
No.
This is kind of what. The end is pretty
Nose.
stereotypical of what happens when the team without the hammer gets some good rocks and play with their first three. So they were back four,
like
top
rolling over
four,
here is
tight
not
guard.
great.
Team
You can come
Manuel had
around,
gone
rolling there is not
corner,
great.
and now they've not had a chance to use their corners for the
Rolling
whole
out's
end.
no
So they've
good
been
'cause he just
chasing the
flops in
Gushue
here. I think
rocks
we
in the
got a nose
house.
and then
We
he's
saw
gotta
a
make a perfect
really
roll.
great hit and roll from, I think
got
that
the
was
ouch
Brett
on that, right?
Gallant.
Okay,
Off
forward weight.
the corner, sorry, a rock out in the outside 12. He rolled right into the back four, so he put more of their rocks in play. And then we've just seen a couple hits exchanged there. So Team Manuel is really looking for that
Gotta
first
go.
shot that really gives them a chance, and they
Gotta go
haven't
hard,
quite found
guys.
it yet. They haven't hid one
Really
away behind a
hard.
guard or made a good hit and roll yet.
Hard, right to it.
You heard Team Gushue trying to figure out where they can roll this to not leave a shot for Team Manuel.
Yeah, you
Not
just
so
squared it.
bad to have 4 rocks in the rings, but Matt will start to use those yellow rocks
That's all right.
as guards.
Oh, the first one was a hair soft too. That one was a little bit more so. But
We see Matt now looking at the back 8 there.
My first thought was the draw.
It'd be buried, but it really needs to be second shot, or it's not that useful.
Yeah, but then we just can it back, and we're sitting a good second. Well, it's going to be hard to get rid of that, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, like, yeah. It's close. It's tough to get all the way over there, but you can make it. Yeah, that's probably the call. Okay. 2/3 peel. Yeah. Okay. Like a real solid, like 8.
So we heard Team Manuel second, Jeff Maher, that was talking to Matt there, trying to figure out what shot to play. The most important part of this shot right now that Luke's throwing is where the shooter's going to go. You need that shooter to be in a good spot to possibly count more than one this end.
Jeff.
So
Roll.
it's tricky to throw
Good
the
shot,
double and leave your shooter in a good spot to score another point. So I
think
think
just a
maybe
little
they
roll
were
of
a
center
bit
marks
clouded
would
on
be my
being
preference.
nervous
I know,
about having that many
so
Gushue rocks in the house because they
could've made
haven't
it
left their
roll.
rock.
That's
Luke made
what I was
that
thinking, yeah, just a
probably
little
about as
roll
good
of
as he
center.
could.
Nose is certainly okay.
And their shooter
Forward.
still isn't in a
That was
great
a bad
spot to try and
miss.
force Gushue
It's too
into
Nose, but
roll to the
ideally
side
just a
of
little
it.
roll of center.
potentially giving them a
them
chance
chase
at
it.
2 points.
Still a chance.
Nose, little roll to center, if anything.
He's not wrong. I wonder if the other guard on the other
Need
side
it now
for
more than ever.
Matt can be used if he can outcount those two 12-foots. That's why Brad's putting this one in a little closer with the
A little
roll,
less, Mark.
closer to the button, but still behind
Yeah, I mean,
cover.
we can even give them 2 next time and then score 3 in the last.
So Matt's team was always going to have to make that double because they were sitting first and second shot, even if they did make a good freeze to that one in the back 8.
Easy.
We might see him try it on his next shot. If Brad makes a nose hit here, his rock is mostly going to be in the 12-foot, and Matt might be able to sneak a rock in behind there in the 8-foot and sit shot rock.
Just a little
So
hard, eh?
stay out front, but doesn't
Could make
block
this double,
that draw
actually.
path necessarily. Matt's looking at the double and squirt behind.
It
Pretty
was a
thick.
3-2? Okay.
He's got to get shot stone out of this.
Just,
though.
it's going to be really hard to score 2. It's hard to make that
Something
draw,
different
though.
So, like, yeah.
Actually, I'm almost not even
I
convinced
felt,
you can.
felt better. I just trying to not get the right
You're,
shoulder.
you're like pretty much dead sinking
At the end, I
behind
was thinking
that.
if we roll half rock this way, it's probably just as good too, right? Yeah.
I know, but it's just exactly like if you go into the side of it, it's
Yep.
wide open.
That was what I was thinking. If you
What do you
squirt
think?
back,
Make
you
it
have to have
Open,
motion
maybe
behind the
if he makes a
guard.
double, he's sticking there, but
Try
this
to
one's
get to
shot,
there.
we can just
I
lob
feel
it.
like a really soft weight hit and roll. You can hit that
It does. yeah.
shot stone thinner and roll behind.
The only thing is then
everything.
he taps and we almost can't score 2, right? Like he moves out a foot. I can't.
They're pretty
double it
tight
off.
together, though. You
So my
might
shooter
always
won't
be
kinda
making
even
contact with that top 12-foot stone.
Let this
I need to
still
get
will
past
count
that
it.
top one and freeze under this back.
I'd have to play like this for 2.
It's just so hard to make this roll to a spot like that's why I say I like playing softer weight, trying to keep this one around. I just
They looked at the draw first, but haven't talked about it since.
Like hack with hit half
I
a
don't mind
rock.
that
We heard
shot.
Matt say that he's not even sure that it's there. That
Okay.
once he comes through the hole,
I don't
the
hate it.
rock is going to be going pretty
I
hard to the
kinda
wings,
like
and
it
it
a little
might
bit better than a draw.
overcurl and not stay in the 8-foot
Hack.
for shot
Give me a
rock.
broom. Out turn.
Right, out to counting that top stone.
Yeah.
Yes, they're going
Half a
back to the
rock.
hit.
So they're
Maybe a little
still
bit more
looking
than
at
half.
the same
Forward.
line as the double, but they've
Soft
now
forward.
downgraded the weight a lot to hack.
And we're hitting a
So
thin
they're not
half,
trying
half.
to get rid of the second stone. They're just trying to maybe use it to bump off of and stick
Yeah.
behind the corner and roll further into the 8-foot.
Board. Half a
Yeah,
rock.
real.
So they decided
Real
board weight
soft.
is what they're
Touch
going to
more,
throw.
Ryan.
Unless the hit is easy, just to
We've overcurled everything here.
get a force out of it.
That's a good thing to notice there for Matt.
If I got
And with the
230
soft
or
weight,
something,
you can control the sweeping
pick it out.
a little better. But if it starts to overcurl, you don't want to lose it.
Hard! Hard!
Nice serve.
Hard! 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 Whoa!
So watch
No,
the shooter. And it's squirting back. That's how he drew it up.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
much
good
the best he could have
result.
done, I think.
Pretty juicy. Pretty juicy.
We hear
They're
Matt
happy?
talking about how happy he is with
How
it.
much you got there, Ryan?
I think they had maybe given up a little bit on being able to make a shot that
Okay.
would put him in a good
Which
spot
is
to
okay,
score
that
2.
guard's not even in play.
So it has slid just a little bit behind the tee. Brad has
Yeah,
a
we
chance
threw
to
this
maybe draw
almost the
right
same
on it or
spot, so-
throw lightweight and tap it back a bit. But that really was the best shot I think Matt could have made in that situation to give himself a chance to score 2.
Scoring.
He'd really like not to get forced here and turn the hammer back over to Gushue.
Like, especially if it's only a steal of one, really. Steal of one, maybe somehow miraculously pull off the
Corner
three.
freeze it.
Matt's doing math right now. Get
Back to that curling math.
force. What do we have to
What's the last
do?
mark?
How many points?
Such a good guards.
3 ends after this one.
Okay.
So for Matt, ideally he's only down a single and can force. But Brad's trying his hardest to force here with a freeze attempt on his last.
Little white. Gotta go. Line's fine.
And this is one of those situations where Brad's throwing this freeze because he'd really like to force Matt to just take one. But Matt's in a position where he's probably going to try really hard to score 2. So you make a good shot here, Team Gushue, and they are likely going to force Matt to try something really tricky to try and score 2. And in a lot of situations where you force the other skip to do that, you end up getting a good steal.
Yeah, and with that shot, not too shabby.
And Brad's shot is just too good. Matt doesn't think he can go after it at all.
Good job.
Oh, as I say that, Matt's taking a second look at it. We hear him groaning.
Leave that a foot higher. It's still done.
Just nothing. It's touching the red. Like they're literally touching.
So the thinking, of course, is you'd have to hit that yellow pretty thin to not lose the back red, and then you'd lose your shooter. So it's just for
pretty
one.
hard, and then it's bouncing the red too far. It's not sticking for second shot because that back yellow is right there.
And if you throw 15. Hard enough, then the 1 is going.
So conceding that it was a lovely freeze from Brad Gushue and Matt Manuel here, drawing for the single.
Whoa. Whoa, Luke.
It's going pretty straight. It's going to miss the guard here, but usually when rocks are traveling like that, you start getting worried about whether it's too heavy.
Needs to calm down.
Hard.
And they are sliding. Whew, think you got away with that one.
I should have stayed back and swept it.
Throwing them too good.
I don't think Brad thinks Mark swept that hard enough.
All right, so a single 4-team manual. They'll still trail, though, 4-2. Gushue with hammer and 6. And I'm hearing that Stu Sankey's audio coming through might have been a bit quiet. So if you didn't hear him when we were talking,
hi, Ryan.
We call this the Stu Sells 1824 Halifax Classic, and that's because Stuart Sankey and his real estate team put on these events. He actually now, as of next year, he was saying is going to have a series of 8 events, and based on points,
hi, guys.
Teams will be eligible to win the top prize out of all the events of a car, and there's other grand prizes based on the points that teams achieve.
Luke's in.
And he kind of joked it's almost like the club version of the Slam series, which is a great point, though. He's encouraging curlers, especially local here in the Maritimes or the Atlantic provinces, and as well as home of Ontario to play, and gets the bigger name teams who play in the Slams also a chance to play some more, and the teams that don't make it into the Slams to get some of that high level competition. So we're always grateful for that. And was asking about his connection to the Maritimes. Stu is a curler, so of course he wants to be involved, and his mom lives in Antigonish. He went to St. FX and has a condo here in the Halifax area, so lots of reasons to come visit, just not this year. We're sad we can't have him. We of course have the Atlantic bubble, but hoping for next year. And so I want to say thank you again to Stu and Stu Sells Realty for sponsoring this.
I think my most fun.
In its 3rd year, as we see a beautiful tick shot from Ryan McNeil Lambswood.
I think the most fun part of listening to Stu today and having met Stu before is just how much he loves curling.
Halfway.
And that there's just something about curling that really gets into your blood, and it just kind of converts you to a true believer. And I think Stu is definitely one of those people. He puts a lot of time and effort into making sure that the sport of curling is fun and vibrant. And a lot of his events are in the Toronto area, and it brings in a lot of teams. I know a lot of the Atlantic teams will travel specifically for the Stu Sells events in Toronto. So just a big hat tip to Stu. He's doing a lot for the game, and it's really appreciated.
You're a great ambassador. Thank you for your time and support. So another center guard there, Team Manuel. It's a bit disheartening to have those ticks made against you, isn't it?
It sure is. Yeah.
Feels really good to make them, though.
It
so
does.
Great shot
it
from
does.
Ryan.
And We saw Brett there watching Matt sweep it, and just a little bit of a hooked smile on his face as he saw it was going to stop over by the sideline. So that's awfully fun. It's I know Team Gushue plays, and there Brett's smiling again. Team Gushue plays hundreds of games a year, and it's nice to still see them smiling and they're still having fun. Even though sometimes I'm sure it feels like a full-time job, and they've got families and partners and all that stuff. And sometimes I'm sure there's weekends where they just like to stay at home.
Well, the
and they're on the road still, and they're curling. So it's nice to see them smiling and having fun.
We know
some amazing shots. That's
we got a chance at 8, right?
Like you mentioned, Jeff Walker in Alberta can't travel to play with the team, but for Ryan to come, and he's really played amazing everything I've watched this week. And they had Joel Kratz a couple weeks ago at the Spiel at Mayflower Curling Club in Halifax.
Yeah, 10. Straight spot down here, Jeff.
Where they went undefeated. Just take that one. And on track for that here. Have to get through 3 more ends. But those ticks are sure helping out.
Whoa! Okay, clean. Yep. Hard. So down. I don't know. It's tough.
Throw here.
So the thinking here is perhaps force. Try and take 3 and steal.
Yeah, certainly not where Team Manuel hoped this end would go with a couple well-placed guards, but those ticks really do change the entire course of the game.
Oh, Ryan. Hard, Ryan. Hard, Ryan.
Ticks often referred to as the Lisa Weagle.
Yes.
Curling with Jennifer Jones this year. Lisa has certainly made a career out of being excellent at those shots and at really helping her teams to victory.
One more, yeah.
No.
That was a little hard, if anything, I think. Yeah. 8.5.
Teams have gotten so good at them now, they realize that was a weapon that they didn't have, and Leeds really started working on that within the past probably 6 or 7 years.
Clean. Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Want the shooter to roll in on this one.
Clean. Yep.
If you're going to force the other team to a single, you have to sit 2.
Whoa, whoa. Yep.
That one looks good. Well done. Well managed with the lightweight. They don't have to throw bullets up there, and you really want to stick the shooter. If you're a hair outside on those upweight ones, they won't come back and they'll roll out.
Less weight, Brett.
Just to be down 3.
We hear Matt and Jeff Maher talking just about the precision that's required to make these hits on the outside and stay there, and they're laughing about all the effort that they're putting into just to hold Team Gushue to 1 and still be losing by 3 points after that happens. So we see Team Gushue trying to hit and roll these rocks closer together to maybe get a chance to throw a double and get out of this with a blank instead of being forced to 1. So that was a good shot there by Brett. It accomplishes that goal of putting them much closer together and maybe getting a double in the future.
Yeah, they don't care. It's behind the tee line. Just they want the 2 rocks, whatever color they are, to be closer to each other.
Ryan, clean. No,
patience,
Jeff,
patience,
Jeff,
patience. And for Team Manuel, they're just trying to go the other way.
Hard. Okay.
So look at the angle there. Looks
It'd be a pretty thin double,
exciting.
but I can imagine that they're going to come close to trying it. Brad looked like he tapped there for the hit and roll.
No less than board, but board should be good.
Really good chance to make a roll here and get them much closer together.
And the reason, like some people would go and call that double, but Mark doesn't have to do that. If he rolls in front and is shot, then it's on Team Manuel to do something and make a good shot.
Yeah, you're totally right, Selena. Like if you try too hard for that double and you roll right out, you give Manuel a chance to put a rock even further away so that it makes the double even harder.
It's a good shot, though.
Just overcalled the sweep on that one. Just a hair. Wanted to let that go a bit more and roll right in front of that red. Not a bad result, though. You can see the natural call is to hit and roll.
Tough to maintain this.
So Matt's now realizing
I
that
really
these
don't like
rocks
our
are close
chances with the
together
blank either.
and that the chances of
This looks too
not
hard.
setting up a double for Team Gushue are getting much harder. So he's thinking about playing the guard. And we hear his full thought process there.
I mean,
if we
you're
force
just
Team
always leaving
Gushue
a
to
double.
1 in this end, if we allow
Still
Team
tight
Gushue
guard.
to blank,
Tight guard.
the chances that we win the game
Cover the
Low.
red.
They're
at the
low.
long term is getting smaller and smaller. So they are going to throw the guard here. We'll see what Team Gushue does in response, but I imagine that they'll likely try to peel it or a run back of some kind. Maybe get rid of both red stones.
And so they're guarding the yellow
Jeff,
stone,
early
the
if you
Gushue
can.
stone.
No. Can't be in, but nice and
They're
tight.
probably not going to force or steal with that
Line's
stone
good.
at the back forefoot, but
Jeff only.
oh, are they playing right into the forefoot? Sorry, I must have missed
Can't
that.
be in, can't be in.
Nope.
Can't
No, the
be in,
call was
can't
the
be in,
guard, but
can't be
I think they were trying to guard the red, not the yellow.
in. Sit. Okay.
And just a hair heavy. They don't want the yellow stone that's thrown now to be able to hit
not
that
good.
and stay in the rings because there is a double on the reds.
3/4. 3/4
Makes
low.
this, I'm gonna have to make the double back. Try and get in the blank. What? Yeah.
Opportunity here for Team Gushue to make the double and stick in the house.
Yep. Hard.
This one's curling early. See if Ryan can hold it. Over curled.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we gotta hit it. Well, I was thinking we
So
hit
the
it
thought
now.
process changed now that we're
Try and
on to
make
skip
that.
stones.
It's just such an easy double, man.
What's that?
The reason Matt was guarding is because he was saying
yeah.
it's hard to maintain the two
If I
red stones
overcurl
in the
it,
rings, but one shot later he's
he
saying,
knows it's
oh, maybe we
this.
got
It's gonna
to
be
go back to
hard
the
not
sitting
to-
two now.
Yeah, and that's sometimes how it
I just,
goes.
like, we
You,
can't
you
blank.
might just only have
Like, if we blank,
one
they score
chance
one and
to
five.
make a
I
good
guess
shot
we're,
and
like,
put
stealing
some pressure on
frames
the
in
other
a
team.
row.
And if you don't do it, your whole strategy's got to change.
You like that? Okay.
They're going to call the freeze here. Hope to put the shooting rock in a good
What?
spot where it can't be used as
I don't
for a
think
double.
I care what they like.
Might not give the sweepers the input onto this call, huh?
I'm not trying to steal. I'm trying to force. Like, I'd rather 2-1-1 than 1-1-1. I don't know.
Hammer is important,
Yeah.
and that's what Matt's getting at.
Guarding
Yeah.
it pretty good for us not to
It's
play.
really
just
hard to
something
steal
before, even if we
several
make
ends in a
two,
row,
then
especially
he's, you know, we're
It's
gonna
gonna be a
double.
gimme
against
double.
Gushue, especially when you haven't stolen yet
I mean,
this
we could
game.
try and
Yeah.
bury one
That's
way on the win on
always
my
evidence. They probably are the team with the lowest steal ends against,
Okay.
even
Corner
though
freeze
I
on the double.
didn't run those stats.
I would imagine that they are.
It's an inch more, Ryan.
Trying lie too, but
15. Felt a hair hot, but yeah, Jeff's in. Line will get close, but Jeff's in. Looks
Seeing
hot.
this one come down, it does look, it's not curling a whole lot, which again makes me worried that it's a little bit too much weight.
Yep, Luke. Whoa, just line it up, line it up.
So their plan B at the last second, go around.
it doesn't go easy.
So
Does it go?
you're looking at yellow, red, red. Hit that yellow on the high side. Think there's enough action
Line
that
was
going
the
back too.
middle red will spring.
Just
Got to hit it high side though.
3-4 feet heavy on all my draws.
Wow. I'd like to lie too. Let's try and hit 3/4, 2/3.
Ah, Brad wants to stick a shooter.
Should have a double back at least to try to get the blank.
See if we can do on it.
Yeah,
That's the difference of 2 feet.
Yeah, the problem, Rock, for Brad there is the one obviously on the
Like
back of the
3/4.
button.
He was
If
calling
they
the
don't
shot.
hit it
You know what I mean?
Here.
Like he was
close enough,
Yes.
calling the
sorry,
There
far
you go.
enough
like
to
he
the
was- he was the
outside,
person who was like,
it
"Oh,
might
my God."
jam, but to be first and second shot, Brad really doesn't need to knock it right out of play. He only needs to move it probably just into the 8-foot, and both of his rocks will be in the 4-foot.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hard, Ryan.
And that sprung no problem, but hit a little thinner than Brad had wanted. Lost the shooter.
Nah, I don't.
That's the
I
same
mean,
spot that
realistically,
caught me
even if it's
against Brad,
99%
where
good,
it's
he's just going to
super
rip it
straight.
off for the blank, right?
I actually thought I threw that better.
So Ryan Abraham pointing out you could freeze and try and
just a little uphill.
force Brad to that single, but Matt's point, probably just ripping it anyway and blanking anyway. So let's not take the chance of giving up a 2.
Yeah, and we've heard Matt in the last couple games talking a lot about the scoreboard and the stats and the percentage that they'll be in a chance to win the game. And throwing the draw here is really the only chance that Team Gushue would have to score 2. And Matt knows that taking any chance where Team Gushue might score 2 really limits their ability to be in a place to win this game.
I just overthrew it.
Take that down for me.
Just coming out hot out of the hack on everything.
So Brad will throw the blank. We put in quotation marks.
Gets the blank here. He just bringing his rock down to the other end.
And we will reset for the 7th end. 2 to go here. 2-point game. Gushue leading by 2, 4-2 with hammer. Here in 7 at the Stu Cells 1824 Halifax Classic. Thank you, presenting sponsor Steel Subaru. I saw the
might as well
the Forester or Crosscheck. I didn't look one of their vehicles out front, all deckled up with the branding for the event. So nice to see that outside. And of course, partner sponsors Superline Fuels, Stu Cells Realty, and Clark Painter with Manulife Securities. You're watching us. Hopefully
really
you're listening.
early.
Otherwise, you don't know what I'm saying. But we would like to thank 360 Live, our technical producer. And all of the organizers, volunteers who have come together to put this event on for the 3rd year in a row.
Sure.
It's a nice bright light in the curling season for a lot of these players.
And we see Team Manuel here throwing a centerline guard. They're really hoping for a chance to have these guards in play. Team Gushue made 2 ticks last end to move both of their center guards over to the wings. So that really changes the end. So they're, and the tick's a hard shot. And to see a team make 2 in a row, now going for 3 in a row, Team Manuel's really hoping they have a chance this end.
So they're playing into the rock. We see sometimes this played across the face. Matt's going to work hard to get this redstone out.
Shit. You made me work for it, though.
Skips can sweep, I guess.
2/3 on this side of center.
Sure.
But around that depth, no, it was, quite a bit over this way. Yeah, it would have been 2/3 on this side.
Sure. On that.
Yeah. If you're good with it, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned,
We're gonna be banging
Team
away
Manuel
at it
was
anyways.
really hoping to get a chance to throw more guards here. So we got the missed tick there. It just went out of play, so it gets put back. And they have an opportunity to throw a second center guard here.
Can't be in.
A little bit of hope this
Can't
end.
be
I
in.
think,
Yeah,
last
I
end
mean,
was tough with the 2 ticks.
Team Gushue is going to come right back at
Line's
it with
getting
likely
good.
another tick attempt, and then
Line's
they're going to be
getting good.
throwing double peels for most of the end until they make one and try to get themselves out of
Line's
trouble.
getting real good. Get some depth. Yep. Hard, Jeff.
Up 2 with hammer.
Hard, Jeff. You're not in.
Play very defensive and just go for that easy 2
Shots,
or
Ryan.
go for the blank. And that's what Team Gushue will
Draw
be
it
doing
in or
here.
tick one. I don't mind trying the tick again. We just got to be a fair bit less weight. Whoa, whoa. Go ahead, Mark. Whoa, whoa, Brett.
Line looks good on this one.
Hard, Brett. Hard. Shooter, guys. Shooter, shooter.
So they'll promote
job.
that
Good
red
shot.
stone into the rings. Well done. They were looking to roll the shooter in. Hard to tell from the overhead.
Very close. That's a good shot.
It's not in. It's not in. Tight. Top 12's not the worst.
That sounds more sure than anybody else.
Yep.
Supers are saying it's light, so they just want to keep these
Line's
stones
all
on
right.
the center line.
Line's
But
good. Line's good. Tight.
we're at that point where Team
Gets it.
Gushue
Ryan
can
in.
peel.
Ryan in. Yep, hard, Ryan. Bury it. Bury it. Hard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's good. That's good. That's good. It's fine, Jeff.
In that top 12, that almost will act as a
Take half.
guard. We're going to see the top one removed right now.
So Team Manuel is down 2 without the hammer. Only 2 ends left to play. It really
Whoa.
needs to, the scoreboard really needs to dictate your strategy here, and you've got to have a team plan for what you're trying to do. Are you going to steal one, steal the extra? Are you going to give up one, take 3, steal the extra?
Like to see it nice and high
You
again.
really have to, because that's
makes
going to
that
dictate every single
harder.
call
Yeah.
that you make this end. And
The goal's not to win an 8 for Team Manuel at this point. It's to tie after 8, right?
Yeah,
So
and what do you think you're most likely to do? Are you most likely to hold
Make sure you're
Gushue
over.
to 1 and then score 3 and then steal
Line's
the extra?
good. Luke's in.
Or do you need to start stealing now? Maybe steal an individual
Okay.
point, get lucky, maybe
Just keep
steal
a broom
2.
down.
I'm
Don't
tempted to
leave this
think,
double,
just
Ryan,
because
stay
of the
with it.
5 rock rule, that it has put a lot more 3
Yep, Ryan, just still a couple
spots
licks.
in play.
No, you're
I'm
good.
tempted to
You're
think
good.
that
You're good.
Matt would want to force and then take 3 and then steal.
Yeah, that'll
just
get it
think
on the inside. It's a fair bit
Stealing
thinner
1,
'cause
then
it's
stealing 1, then stealing 1 is a
4 or
tough
5
way
feet
Yeah.
deeper.
to win in
Not
9.
too worried about that side one. Can't really do much about it.
And
Half
sometimes
is
it's,
close. I
if
think
let's
half
say
might
you
just
start
be a
this
hair too
end, the
thick,
7th
so-
end, with the idea that you'd like to steal, it's sometimes really hard to transition into a game plan where you're going to force instead. So if you commit early to trying to steal, you often have to commit the whole
Yep.
way through, which can get you into big trouble. That can
And
end
I
up-
always find, though, a steal and a force look oddly similar for the most part. Oh, they just can't get that double. One went over, one went under. But it remains on the side 12, so this is the force
Halfway to
happening
high.
right here.
Line's pretty good. Jeff all day. Jeff, just stay down. Keep it clean. Okay, whoa, whoa. Stay with it, Ryan. Stay with it, Ryan. Whoa. Yep, yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Probably a better idea now to do this, eh?
So not a bad guard there
Might
from
be able to
Luke
get 'em all.
Saunders.
3
Good
quarters,
depth.
Mark.
It's right in front of the red. We do see Mark Nichols here getting ready to try the run back double and roll the shooter off the center line a little bit. Team Gushue really is trying to make sure that they get rid of one of those rocks in the house. It'd be real nice to do that.
Yep, yep. Hard. Whoa, whoa. Good shot. Roll it, roll it. Yep, 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 yep.
And that's exactly what Mark does. So great shot from him.
Beauty.
So it gets rid of 2. They could have curled up a hair more, might have made contact with all 3. Just, and I say just, it was pretty close to getting that side 12-foot red as
Probably
well.
throwing a center.
So this is exactly what I was talking about here. So the
What's that?
transition from steel to force is sometimes pretty
Throw it over here.
blunt.
kinda
So we see them throwing the
high
guard
over
still.
here.
I think their main goal is to
Yeah.
still try and
Just make that
steal.
real steep.
So you throw this guard hoping that the Gushue team in an attempt to peel, maybe leaves you something to draw behind still and gives you a chance to get a good rock in the house.
There's just so much of the 4-foot open. You'd have to be guarding
Higher
a
the better,
pretty
guys.
good portion of the button to not give Brad the
Yeah.
out, the draw for the
Yeah.
single. As much as you can try and steal, it really depends on what you're forcing the other team to. If it's a wide open draw to the 8-foot, I give Brad Gushue a pretty good chance at making that.
Take a chance here. And
Getting 2
What's
would be
that?
nice.
there's also enough angle here if you wanted to do it, but I don't mind
I
taking a
wondered
chance
if
to try and
Matt
get
was
2.
just assuming that
Normal.
Gushue would peel the guard that was placed.
Even a nose here, Mark's not awful.
Because when you put that guard, they could play aggressively. You think they're going to be playing defensively, but this is where things get
I think we're
switched up.
happy to see him.
Whoa. Yep. Yep.
There's a little bit of risk associated with it, of course. You don't make it, you've just left a guard out front. Brad's betting he'll have the entire button probably
Good shot.
for his last, though, and I think that's what's
Despite the
dictating
8,
that thinking.
just out count it. Could hit and roll too.
It's so high, it's off center. Like it's.
So we see
really
Team
can't get
Manuel
a piece of
still
4, so.
throwing shots with the intention of trying to steal this end.
Yeah, like the tight guard.
What's that?
Yeah, and then if he loops around, I got the double. If he gets top 4, and if he's not top 4, we can bury go. I like that, Ryan. Let's go there. Tight guard.
I like this
Just try and bury
better than the draw,
3/4 of it.
actually.
What? Yeah, we don't want
The
it
risk,
to be
of
in.
course, is that you're-
Leave it half open because half will jam right into that yellow if we're a tight guard. Okay, tight guard.
The risk, of course, is that
We'll leave us
you're
chunk
leaving
of
a
4-foot,
Gushue rock
stick
in the
one
house.
around
Yeah.
But I think
Tight guard, right behind that.
Team Manuel has already decided that any score here from Team Gushue is likely making the game unattainable for them to win. So they're calling shots with the intention of making the steal.
Just a little less, Ryan.
A risk they're willing to take at this point on Skips Rocks in the 7th.
Would have liked it. Possibly
whoa,
to
whoa,
catch
whoa.
the back of that.
Whoa!
Wanting
Whoa,
this
Jeff!
to be top 4-foot weight.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, they called the guard.
They did, yeah.
I'm,
Just
I'm
tight.
back to the draw.
That's okay.
Not
Just
too deep.
tight.
Whoa!
Might have peeked out a little bit the other side, too.
Nah, it's really tough on the intern, but
Hack.
Brad's going to go for it. He can see. I'm behind the
man,
hack
I'm
here.
just 4 feet heavy everywhere.
Can see less than half a rock, maybe
really
only
like
a
that
quarter
call,
from the hack.
Yeah, like we would have made that good. We'd have a chunk. We could have buried one full 4-foot there.
Don't have as much of it. I think there's enough though, eh? A little more, Mark. Hack
Yeah, I
him
can't see much.
for sure.
Yeah, we see Brad going for it. He's playing hack weight. He makes contact with the red. He's going to roll over to his other yellow, and then we'll really find out if Team Manuel's strategy is to try and steal at all costs, or whether they will try and play at the yellows on the corner.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Close. Yep. Whoa, Brett. Brett. Hard, Brett.
So
Part of the
Brad
yellow
couldn't
line?
see too much of that red. He got a chunk of it. Does not
sorry,
remove
guys.
it.
I think we're guarding that.
Pops it to the
Yeah, just no.
just,
we have
just
to, right?
biting the button.
That's a steal of one,
much
really,
ice.
unless he makes the run.
Like unless we did
Yeah, but that just gives him one, right? Like then we're down 3. We got to guard it. Yeah, absolutely. So we give him 1, we're down 3. Our chance of
So we
scoring
don't know
3
what their
and
plan
then steal
actually
one.
was, because this has
This is
changed
a
things.
gimme steal of 1. He's gonna have to play the run.
This is the try to steal.
On-
You got to make a really good guard, though. If Brad can see any piece of that red rock.
I feel like I've been
Go for
reading
it.
Matt's brain the
There's
whole
not even like an in off the
end
yellows
here that
either.
it's steal at all costs, and That might be because Matt and I were teammates last year. I was the one that would stand in the house, and we talk a lot about strategy.
Like we're hoping for a miss no matter what, right? Like we're down 2 here without him. We're hoping on a mistake or 2.
And we're hearing him do the math, so he's really certain
tight.
that if he gives just 1 point to Team Gushue, they're going to be down 3, playing the last end, needing to take 3 from last year's Briar champion.
I'm just worried about a curl
and he thinks that this is his
get.
best opportunity to keep the game in a position where he can win.
You think it's good? Okay.
If you thought it out, it makes sense. Make it.
More. What? Okay. What? I'm not worried about finish it. I'm worried about over curling.
Let's see what they can do with the line.
We heard Matt say after his last one that he's feeling like he's just 4 feet heavy everywhere.
Sweet over curl.
Line's real good.
Almost sounds like the adrenaline
Jeff all
push,
day.
you know, and you're just feeling good and excited, and you get that hair extra on everything. A little bit extra on your
Just
hits,
Jeff. Whoa.
your release, and your draws too.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I want this one to stop now.
Just oversweep.
Just over curled.
Avoid something disastrous here, but I guess it could happen with either one.
So there's a double, and there's the
He's
soft
probably
weight
about
come
half
around
a rock
hit.
there.
Just oversweep.
Haven't seen a whole lot of well, we've seen a bunch of yours.
Luke didn't ever need
They were just a little closer, but what?
It's wide open.
I don't know, Matt. I don't know that that's wide open.
It might be a Gushue wide open. It's certainly not a Jeff Wilson wide open.
Yeah, I can't see that whole rock.
Yeah. Okay.
So we saw Brad
it's just
initially
like the
talking
pick.
there about maybe something lightweight at that one there, the shot rock. You heard Selena and I talking about maybe playing the double. Breckeland says, well, why don't you just get rid of that one and we'll get 2 with our, because we're already sitting second and third.
Yeah.
Give me
So that
a little more.
really decreases
There you
the difficulty of this shot, just to get rid of that red and not try to stick around or try to get rid of 2 reds. So
Is that
that's what
the
they've
KISS
elected to
principle?
throw. Pardon me?
Keep it simple principle?
Yeah, keep it simple.
It was right call.
So Brad Gushue, last rock here. This is a pick.
Whoa.
It will be for
Please.
2.
Whoa.
We hear him asking for the sweepers to be close. They're now asking for the curling sweeper to go.
And it'll
that's
make
good enough.
just enough contact. Good enough for those 2 on the side, 12 to count.
2 yellow for Team Gushue. Well played shot.
Okay.
And they will take a 6-2 lead in this final, the second
Good
deuce
end,
of the game.
actually, at the end. Almost got a steal out of that.
Matt saying, almost got lucky. Almost. But there's a big difference
Get our
between
money's
2
worth, though.
points and stealing. It's a
You guys actually want to.
3-point swing there.
They want to throw them back. Yeah. Okay.
Just a throw through here for Team Gushue. They're trying to reduce the number of rocks that are going to be in play so they don't accidentally
the extra
crash
ice.
into something.
Yeah, it felt good.
So while we have a second here, we just want to remind everyone we're at the Halifax Curling Club. This is the Stu Sells 1824 Halifax Classic. You can check out the club's website, halifaxcurl.com. I mentioned earlier there is a fundraiser for the club. It's a silent auction. It's really silent because it's through your computers or your phones. Log on, create an account, log on, and bid on items. There's a whole bunch, I think 45 different auction items.
Just leave it high, guys.
And
It's
the
fine.
bidding has started. It's going till December 4th.
Just be ready to throw.
You can follow the club on social media and get updates as well. And the speed's held up nicely here, thanks to Ice Maker Adam McKieran for great work all weekend and his volunteer
Halfway.
crew. It doesn't happen with just one person. Lots of help out there.
We are going to do a short trophy presentation after the game's over to the winning team. So everyone who's interested, stay online for the stream, and we're going to show the trophy presentation to the winning team.
We can just see the trophy over there on the left.
Of course, the tablecloth is a tartan representing curling's origins in Scotland.
Two names on it, and both say Howard, but it'll be different this year. It'll be an Atlantic team.
Right.
Both Glen Howard, too. It's not like Russ snuck in there and stole a championship a couple years ago.
That's true, although I have to say, I know you weren't here, I don't think, Jeff, when the first one was won. I think that was the year, the first year when Glenn wasn't here. Scott skipped.
Oh, yeah.
So I say Howard because
right.
it was Glenn's team, but
that's right.
I got to give due credit to Scott, who skipped to win that event.
And Adam Spencer was the 5th for them that year.
Yeah.
Yep, gotta go line.
So pretty straightforward
Hard line.
for both teams. Team
Hard
Gushue,
line.
they don't want anything in the rings,
Room.
anything out
Hard line.
front, anything in play.
line.
Team Manuel, they got a couple guards, and now they come around.
Yep, hard Ryan, hard Ryan, hard Ryan, hard Ryan, hard Ryan. Yeah, you're good, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
Half's close.
Those guards are a little uneven. So there could be a double peel. No big deal if Brett doesn't make it. A single's fine as well. Or is he going into the one in the house?
Yeah, I think
Maybe
he's
the
actually
house.
trying to run this peeled stone into the run in the house.
I was going to say half's not enough for that, but this looks close. Through the middle.
2 ends in a row. They've had a bunch of near misses on picking up that second rock.
Let's put it on top, Jeff.
That's annoying. They make those more times than not, or
know.
Brett does at least.
Clean, yep. Hard line, whoa, room. Yep, yep, yep. Hard line. Hard to get by, Luke. Hard. Can it right on top. Hard. Get some separation, Luke. No, Luke. Shots, Jeff.
Really nice pair there from Jeff Marr.
Straight peel.
Yeah, we've seen Team Manuel curling 100% in this last end. They've thrown every shot exactly where they wanted it to be.
Just get down there. Play right along.
Clean. Whoa. Whoa.
Jeff Marr.
Whoa.
Hope and pray.
Okay.
Hope for a flash. It's probably as close as it's going to get to a
It always
flash
had a
from
piece. It just
Mark.
kept getting less and less of a piece.
Straight guard.
So we see Team Manuel just throwing another guard in front of these 2 rocks that are in the house. As you mentioned, Selena, they are going to have to hope for a miss from Team Gushue, which we don't see very often.
Not too deep. Not too deep.
This is when you need it. Eventually, they'll have to start throwing their rocks in the house, even if they don't have any guards, because they need to score 4 to tie the game.
Where are you? Whoa, guys. You wait on it. Ryan at the end. Ryan at the end. Yes, now, Ryan. Hard. Hard, Ryan. That's good. That's good. What?
Bit of a disagreement there. Matt's thinking the sweepers must know when I want them to sweep for line.
Whoa. Clean it. Good.
Just another straightforward peel for Mark Nichols. And we'll see the guard go back one more time, and then it'll be the last 4 rocks need to count for Team Manuel.
Yeah, this is the last time you cannot put it in the rings.
So yeah, unless I get half of one of these sides, we'll just peel the top.
You just have to count. We see 2 reds back there and 2 in the rings.
Line's good. Jeff, clean.
And they
Just
need
clean
4.
it. Clean it if you're close. Whoa. That's fine. Yep. Hard, Jeff. Hard, Jeff. Hard, Jeff. Hard. Good. Make him earn it. Make him earn it. Pretty good end, actually.
Yeah, we hear Matt agreeing with us. They've really they've curled 100% this end. They've done everything that they could do.
Bad.
They just needed that miss from Team Gushue, and they haven't got it yet.
It's a tough ask.
Just put it on the open side.
Clean.
No mistake there. Brad Gushue throwing the first to skip stones, and now Matt Manuel. He's got to put this one in, so they're going to go on the open side. Just for a change of scenery.
Felt real good.
It's funny, this game, I expected to see more play to the wings, but it really was not a lot of corner guards this whole game. If I'm thinking back through, it was a lot of play around the center or really, really wide on the sides.
Yeah, we never really saw them get really deep into it. Like, I don't think there was ever more than maybe 4 rocks in play, 5 rocks in play if there was a guard.
And so this could do it. Brad's playing on the same side. He just threw the peel. Just has to remove one of these red stones to take it. And he will.
So Brad Gushue's our champion here. And he's being a bit of a show-off at the end. He makes the double.
Makes
and
the double anyway.
Rid of one.
So congratulations, Brad Gushue, Mark Nichols, Brett Gallant, and Ryan McNeil-Lambswood on the championship, going undefeated to take the title in the 2020 Stu Sells 1824 Halifax Classic. Congratulations as well to runners-up Team Manuel, Matt Manuel, Luke Saunders, Jeff Marr, and Ryan Abraham. And we're just getting ready for the trophy presentation, so I'll remind everyone of our presenting sponsors, Steel Subaru, partner sponsors, Superline Fuels, Stu Sells Realty, and Clark Painter with Manulife Securities. Our streaming partner is 360 Live. Brian Fisher's been working his butt off all weekend and probably is ready to go to sleep. Just a little bit left for him to do. Ice maker Adam McKieran, volunteer ice crew, club manager Mandy O'Connor, and Spiel organizer Stephen Thompson, who's out there ready to do the presentation, Ernie Chan and Craig Corpett, plus all the volunteers. Thank you so much. And just hang on a second while we switch over to the trophy presentation.
Lead organizer Stephen Thompson presenting the trophy to Team Gushue, our 2020 champions of the Stu Sells 1824 Halifax Classic. Skip Brad Gushue, third Mark Nichols, second Brett Gallant, and lead Ryan McNeil-Lambswood.
Okay, folks, while we're waiting here for our club manager and club president to come out, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of the folks that have made this happen. But I want to acknowledge Team Manuel. This is a team that is a new team this year. We're honored to have them curling out of the Halifax Curling Club. and they put on a real show today. So let's hear it for Team Manuel. Woohoo! So this is just for our viewing audience because apparently we're not being mic'd inside the club. I also want to thank our sponsors, our presenting sponsors, Steel Subaru, our partner sponsors, Superline Fuels, Clark Painter, Manulife Securities, and of course, Two Cells Realty. Thank you to our on-ice lead, Ernie Chan, who's over there taking photographs. He's done so much over this weekend, getting the draws started, putting the scores online, taking photographs, you name it. Thank you, Ernie. Our off-ice lead, Craig Corbett, who again has done an outstanding job of organizing our volunteers, the food and everything else that the curlers have benefited from. Our club manager to my right, Mandy O'Connor, who's been here living and breathing this event and making all the details happen that make for a successful event. Our club president, Kate Thompson, to her right. And to the kitchen crew, who've done a stellar job at presenting the best food that I think we've had here in a long time. And of course, to all of the volunteers who have spent countless hours making this event successful. And we wouldn't have any curling event if we didn't have great ice, so we have to give a huge shout out to Adam McCarahan and his crew for doing a stellar job. Thank you, Adam, very much. You never let us down. So this year was different in that we obviously didn't have a live viewing audience, and so we really wanted to make sure that all of our fans and family and supporters were able to see this event. And so we're so thrilled that we've been able to have 360 Live here producing this event in conjunction with CBC and Bell Media. Thank you so much to Brian Fisher, our technician, who's put this all together and manned the cameras throughout this and given us some amazing footage. And our color commentators who have just added so much extra dynamic to the event. Thank you all. And lastly, to the teams. We've had an Atlantic Canadian event this year, and we're so thrilled to have some of the best teams in Canada and certainly in Atlantic Canada showcasing the talent that we have in our 4 Atlantic provinces. So it's now my great pleasure to present the 2020 Championship Trophy for the Stu Cells 1824 Halifax Classic to Team Gushue. All right, you can go and present the check.
Check for the trophy.
And we're not actually going to give the trophy to Gushue because we want to respect all the sanitizing issues. This is a check for $6,000, so spend it wisely, gentlemen. So, Kate, do you want to just, I guess we can do that, sure. Yeah. We have takeaways here. We weren't able to get the crystal curling stones this year, but these are the IOUs, which you'll get eventually. Do they want the trophy? Do you guys want to have a shot with the trophy? All right, let's do that. And so we're taking this photograph. We'll sign off here, but again, I just want to thank everyone who's participated and helped out with this event, and we look forward to seeing you all again next November 2021 for the Stu Cells 1824 Halifax Classic.